It was a quiet morning, but little Kenton tugged at her mother's sleeve, her eyes filled with worry. "Mommy, I don't want to wear these clothes anymore. I don't like people seeing my birthmark." Her mother knelt down, holding her close. "My sweet girl, this birthmark is not something ugly. It's a special gift from heaven. Your daddy, he had one too." Kenton looked up, curious, her voice trembling. "Then where's my daddy?" The mother's smile faded. Her voice dropped low. "I can't tell you, sweetheart. Your father and I had you by accident. I don't even know what he looks like." Her phone rang suddenly, breaking the moment. "Mommy needs to take this call. The car I ordered is almost here. Remember, it's black." Just then, a sleek black car pulled up. Kenton's eyes lit up. She ran toward it with excitement. "Hello, the black car is Mommy's ride." She peeked inside and gasped. "Mister, you're so handsome, just like the daddy I always imagined." The man inside frowned. "I'm not your dad. Fate just brought us together." But the little girl only giggled. "You're so handsome. Do you want to be my daddy? My mommy is amazing. Marrying her is a steal." The mother's footsteps echoed as she rushed forward. Her face went pale when she saw who was inside the black car. Her heart skipped a beat. "It's him, the CEO." She froze, memories flooding back like a storm. The CEO turned sharply, his eyes narrowing. "You. It's you." The mother's lips trembled, but before she could speak, the little girl grabbed her hand tightly. "Mommy, don't be scared. I'll protect you." She looked up at the cold man and shouted with all her courage, "Don't you dare bully my mommy. If you do, I'll beat you up." The crowd around them gasped, but the CEO only smirked, a hint of curiosity in his cold eyes. The girl puffed up her cheeks, still standing in front of her mother like a tiny warrior. "You think you're so scary, mister? Huh, my mommy is stronger than you." The CEO leaned forward, voice low and chilling. "Interesting. You really don't know who I am, do you?" The mother's hands shook, but she pulled her daughter close. "Come, Kenton, let's go home." But the CEO's gaze followed them, burning like fire. As they walked away, he whispered to himself, "That child, could she be mine?"
That night, the CEO sat alone in his office. The city lights glowed behind him, but his mind was far away. He clenched his fist. That child, her eyes, her smile, even her birthmark. His voice dropped to a whisper. "It's the same as mine. Could she really be my daughter?" Meanwhile, at home, the mother tucked Kenton into bed. The girl's soft voice broke the silence. "Mommy, do you think Daddy will ever come back to us?" The mother's eyes welled with tears. She forced a smile, stroking her daughter's hair. "Sweetheart, Daddy isn't someone we can reach, but you have me, and I'll never leave you." The girl nodded sleepily, holding on to her mother's hand. "Then that's enough, as long as Mommy is here." But outside their home, a black car waited silently. Inside, the CEO's gaze was fixed on their window. His heart pounded. "If she really is my child, no one will take her from me."
The next morning, the CEO sat at a long dining table. His relatives surrounded him, whispering like snakes in the dark. One of them sneered, "Why waste time on that woman and her child? She's nothing but trouble." Another added sharply, "The company's future is at stake. You can't let a poor girl ruin your reputation." The CEO's face remained calm, but his voice cut like ice. "Be careful with your words. That child may be mine. The room fell silent. Every relative froze, their greedy eyes widening. His uncle slammed the table. Ridiculous! Even if she is yours, she doesn't belong here. She's not one of us. The CEO rose slowly from his chair, his presence towering over them. You're wrong. If she is my blood, no one will keep her from me. Not even this family. Meanwhile, the mother walked hand in hand with Kenton through a crowded street. The girl smiled, pointing at the toy stalls. Mommy, look, can we buy one? But the mother's eyes carried worry. She knew the storm was coming. Somewhere in the distance, the CEO's shadow followed. His decision was made. Soon, he would demand the truth.
Late at night, the CEO sat alone in his study. In his hand, the DNA report. His fingers trembled as he read the final line. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. His chest tightened. She's mine. Kenton is really my daughter. The next morning, he stormed into the mother's small apartment. She was startled, clutching Kenton in her arms. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice shaking. He held up the report, his deep and cold voice. "You lied to me all these years. Why?" Tears filled her eyes. "I was afraid. Afraid you'd take her away. Afraid she'd grow up without love." He stepped closer, his anger softening into pain. "You thought I wouldn't love my own child? You thought I'd abandon her?" The little girl's eyes darted between them. "Mommy, what's happening? Why is Uncle so sad?" The mother hugged her tightly, unable to answer. But the CEO's hand trembled, reaching out to touch his daughter's cheek. For the first time, his voice broke. "Sweetheart, I'm not just your uncle. I'm your father."
The CEO sat in his office, his voice cold as steel. "File for custody. I want my daughter with me, no matter the cost." His assistant hesitated. "Sir, are you sure? Taking her from her mother—" "Do it!" he roared. The room fell silent. In the courtroom, the mother stood trembling. Her voice was soft, but her words were sharp. "She is my child. I raised her alone for 6 years. You can't just buy her with your money." The CEO's lawyer smirked. "Your Honor, the child deserves a better life. The Yu family can provide the best education, the best future." The little girl clutched her mother's hand, whispering, "Mommy, don't cry. I'll stay with you. I don't need toys. I just need you." Tears streamed down her mother's face. She bent down, holding her daughter tightly. "You're all I have, and I'll fight for you until my last breath." The judge struck his gavel. "The case will be reviewed. Until then, joint custody." That night, the CEO stood by his window. The city lights glowed, but his heart was restless. He whispered to himself, "If only she had trusted me from the start. Why does love always come with pain?"
The next morning, the Yu family mansion echoed with tension. The grandmother slammed her cane against the floor. "I don't care what excuses you give. The child carries our bloodline. She belongs here, with us." The mother knelt, her voice trembling but firm. "Madame Yu, I respect you, but Kenten is not a trophy. She is my daughter, my flesh and blood."
The jealous woman smirked from the side. Then why hide her for so many years, unless she isn't even his child? The room gasped. The CEO's eyes darkened, fury flashing within. Enough! Don't you dare insult her or my daughter. The rival's smile faltered, but she leaned closer to whisper in the ear. Enjoy this victory while it lasts. I'll make sure you lose everything. The mother clutched her daughter tightly, whispering, No matter what happens, I won't let them tear us apart. That night, in the quiet of her small home, the mother broke down in tears, hiding her sobs from her daughter. But outside the window, the CEO stood silently in the shadows. His heart ached at her pain, yet he said nothing.
The next day at school, whispers filled the classroom. Did you hear? She's just an illegitimate child. Her mom climbed up the CEO through shameless means. The little girl froze, her tiny fists clenched. Tears welled up, but she forced herself to stay strong. During art class, a cruel classmate shoved a broken bottle into her bag. Moments later, the teacher stormed in. Whose backpack is this? She pointed at the little girl. You, cruel child, abusing animals and lying to everyone. Disgraceful. The girl cried, shaking her head. No, it's not mine. Please believe me. The mother rushed to school, holding her daughter tightly. My child would never do such a thing. Where's your proof? The teacher sneered. Proof? Her bloodline says it all. Like mother, like daughter. The mother's face turned pale, but before she could speak, the CEO's voice thundered from the doorway. Who dares slander my daughter? The entire room fell silent. The CEO walked in, cold and furious. Expel this teacher. And remember, no one humiliates my family and leaves unscathed. The mother looked at him stunned, and for the first time, the little girl whispered softly, Daddy. The school soon announced a charity fair. Children and parents were invited to sell handmade items, all to raise money for children in need. The little girl's eyes sparkled. Mommy, I carved these wooden animals myself. If I sell them, maybe I can help those poor kids too. The mother's heart softened. She kissed her daughter's forehead. My sweet girl, your kindness will shine brighter than gold. But at the fair, the whispers returned. Look at that, cheap, ugly carvings. Who would buy such worthless trash? A wealthy parent sneered, displaying a diamond necklace. This is a real item. This is value, not some poor girl's scraps. The little girl's eyes dimmed. She bit her lip, holding back tears. And then, a commanding voice broke the silence. I'll buy her carving for 10 million. Gasps erupted. Everyone turned. It was the CEO. He lifted the carving with pride. This piece carries innocence, love, and sincerity, something your so-called jewels will never have. Bidders jumped in. 15 million, 20 million, 30 million final. The little girl clutched her mother's hand. Mommy, did I really make something that precious? The mother's eyes shone with tears. Yes, sweetheart, you gave the world something priceless, your heart. Flashbulbs popped as photographers rushed forward. And for the first time, the CEO, the mother, and the child stood together on stage like a true family.
That night, while the little girl slept peacefully, the mother's sister, her aunt, slipped into the CEO's study. Her hands trembled as she held two envelopes. Inside were strands of hair, one from her own son, one secretly taken from the little girl. She whispered to herself, "If I give this to Madame Yu, everything will change. Once the truth comes out, she'll never accept that child." The next morning, in the ancestral hall, the grandmother's voice shook with anger. "These DNA results prove it. One child carries our blood, the other does not." The mother's heart nearly stopped. Her eyes darted toward her sister. "You. It was you. You betrayed us." The aunt's cold smile spread. "I did what I had to do. My son deserves everything, and you deserve nothing." The little girl clung to her mother's arm. "Mommy, Daddy, please don't fight. I don't care about the past. I just want us to be together." Silence fell. The CEO dropped to his knees, holding his daughter for the first time with trembling arms. His voice choked with emotion. "Forgive me, my little girl. From today on, I swear, I'll never let you go."
Just when peace seemed within reach, the rivals struck again. She lured the mother into a quiet hotel suite, locking the door behind her. Her smile was sharp as a blade. "Leave the CEO, or I'll destroy you. I've already prepared the evidence. One scandal, and you'll lose custody forever." The mother's fists clenched. Her voice shook, but her eyes blazed. "I won't run anymore. I've lived in fear for 6 years, but today I fight back." The rival laughed coldly, shoving a contract across the table. "Sign it. Sign away your rights. Give up your daughter, or I'll release everything." The mother tore the contract in half. "I'd rather die than abandon my child." Suddenly, the door burst open. The CEO stormed in, eyes blazing with fury. "Enough! You dare threaten the mother of my child? From this moment, you're finished." The rival's face drained of color. "No, you can't! You need me!" But the CEO cut her off with a single command. "Security, remove her, and blacklist her name from this city." The rival's screams echoed down the hall as the mother collapsed into his arms, trembling. He whispered gently, "You're not alone anymore. No one will hurt you again." A few weeks later, trouble struck again at school. The teacher slammed a bottle on the desk. Inside was a dead hamster. Her voice was sharp. "Class, who would do something so cruel? This was found in Tiantian's backpack." Gasps filled the room. The little girl shook her head, tears spilling. "That's not mine! I would never hurt a life!" But the other children whispered, "She's lying. She's a bad kid." The teacher's glare was merciless. "Enough excuses. Pack your things. You're expelled." Just then, the CEO walked in. His voice thundered, "Stop. Who gave you the right to condemn a child without proof?" The room fell silent. The little girl bit her lip, then stood tall. Her small voice rang out, "The burden of proof isn't on me. You should prove it was mine. Otherwise, this is slander." The teacher froze, stunned. A 5-year-old quoting law? The CEO's lips curved, pride flashing in his eyes. He stepped forward. "You heard her. Check the surveillance. Truth doesn't hide forever." The truth soon emerged. The rival's son had switched the backpacks. The crowd turned. The teacher stammered, I didn't know." The CEO's glare was ice. "You're unfit to teach. From today, you're dismissed." He placed his hand gently on his daughter's shoulder. "You were so brave today. Daddy is proud of you." For the first time,
The little girl smiled, not just as a child, but as someone who could fight back against the world.
That evening, the Yu family gathered in the grand hall. The atmosphere was suffocating. The grandmother's voice was cold. "Enough secrets. Tonight we settle this once and for all." An envelope lay on the table. Inside it, the DNA reports. The aunt smirked with triumph. "Open it! The truth will shatter her lies." The mother's hands shook as the CEO tore the envelope open. His eyes scanned the page, and his heart dropped. The grandmother's cane struck the floor. "One child is blood of the Yu family. The other is not." After the chaos in the great hall, the mother packed quietly through the night. Her hands trembled as she folded her daughter's tiny clothes into a suitcase. The little girl rubbed her sleepy eyes. "Mommy, are we leaving again?" The mother forced a smile, hiding her tears. "Yes, sweetheart, we'll go somewhere safe. Somewhere no one can hurt us." She whispered to herself, "If it means protecting her, I'll disappear forever." But outside the house, the CEO was waiting. His voice was low, filled with pain. "Running again? How long will you keep suffering in silence?" The mother froze, clutching the suitcase. "I can't fight your family. They're too powerful. If I stay, she'll only get hurt." The CEO stepped forward, his eyes burning with regret. "You think I need wealth? Status? None of it matters. I just need you and her." Her tears finally spilled. "You've said those words too late. For 6 years, I carried this burden alone. Where were you then?" The CEO's voice cracked. "Blind, stupid, but not anymore. From this day forward, I'll stand against the world for you both." For the first time, the mother's defenses faltered. She looked into his eyes and saw not the cold CEO, but a man desperate to make things right. Gasps erupted. The mother's face turned pale. "No, that's impossible." The aunt's laughter was sharp. "See? She's nothing. A fraud. She and her child don't belong here." The little girl clutched her mother's skirt, crying, "Mommy, what does it mean? Am I not Daddy's daughter?" The CEO's voice thundered. "Silence!" He pulled his daughter close, his arms shaking. "I don't care what this paper says. In my heart, she is mine. No one will take her away." The grandmother's eyes burned with rage. "You dare defy me? You'd ruin this family's honor for her?" The mother's voice finally broke, tears streaming. "I don't need your wealth. I don't need your name. All I need is my child safe." The hall erupted into chaos. Shouts, anger, betrayal, and in the center of it all, a little girl, holding both parents' hands, terrified the world might tear them apart.
Humiliated, exposed, forgotten. The rival sat alone in a luxury suite, her glass of wine trembling in her hand. Her reflection in the mirror sneered back at her. "They took everything from me. The man, the child, the family's favor. If I can't have it, no one will." The next day, the mother received an unexpected call. A woman's voice, sharp and mocking. "If you want your daughter safe, come alone." Her blood turned cold. "Kenton, what have you done to her?" The rival's laughter echoed. "You'll find out soon enough. Come, if you dare." On the edge of town, in an abandoned warehouse, the mother rushed inside.
Kenton, baby, where are you?" From the shadows, the rival appeared, gripping the child's arm, looking for this little brat. The girl whimpered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Mommy!" The mother's knees buckled, but she forced herself to stand tall. "Let her go! Take me instead!" The rival's eyes glittered with madness. "Oh, I will. But first, you'll watch everything crumble. Your child will hate you. Your man will despise you. And I will win." Suddenly, the CEO's voice thundered from the doorway. "Enough!" He stormed in with guards, eyes blazing with fury. "Touch her again, and it will be the last thing you ever do." The rival's face twisted. "You'll regret this! You'll all regret—" But before she could finish, the guards pulled her away. Her screams echoed as she was dragged into the night. The mother collapsed to the floor, clutching her daughter in her arms. The CEO knelt beside them, his voice trembling. "I swore no one would hurt you again, and I meant it." The next morning, reporters crowded outside Dragonrise headquarters. Flashes of cameras lit up the street. The CEO stepped onto the stage, the mother and child by his side. For the first time, his hand held theirs in front of everyone. His voice was steady, powerful. "Today I declare to the world, this is my family. In this lifetime, I will only love her, and this child is my daughter." Gasps erupted. The press went wild. But inside the Yu family estate, the grandmother slammed her cane in fury. "Outrageous! He dares ruin our honor for that woman." The aunt fumed. "He's blinded. Choosing them over us will destroy everything." But the CEO's words carried across every channel, every headline. "No power, no wealth, no tradition will ever tear us apart. They are my everything. Anyone who dares touch them will face me." The mother's eyes filled with tears. The little girl whispered softly into the microphone, "Daddy, I love you." The crowd melted, and in that moment, the cold CEO was no longer just a tycoon. He was a father, a man, and a protector.
That evening, the Yu family mansion was filled with tension. The grandmother sat high on her chair, her eyes sharp as steel. "Enough games," she said coldly. "If you insist on keeping that woman, then she must prove herself worthy." The CEO's jaw tightened. "She doesn't need to prove anything. She's already my choice." But the grandmother slammed her cane. "You think love is enough? Our family name is built on honor, on legacy. If she wants to stand by your side, she will face my test." The mother stood tall, even as fear gripped her heart. "What test?" she asked quietly. The grandmother smirked. "You'll run the Yu household for 1 month. Every tradition, every ritual, every responsibility. If you fail, you leave, and the child stays." The room fell silent. The mother's breath caught, but then her eyes hardened. "I accept." The CEO turned to her, desperate. "You don't have to do this. We can walk away." But she shook her head, gripping his hand. "All my life I've run from fear. Not anymore. If it's for my daughter, I'll endure anything." The grandmother's lips curved in a thin smile. "Very well. Let the trial begin." The very next morning, the mansion gates opened. Servants whispered as the mother stepped in, ready to begin the trial. The grandmother's cold voice echoed through the hall. Tradition, respect, and perfection. One mistake, and you're out. The tasks began. Preparing ancestral offerings, overseeing the household accounts, hosting the family's business guests with flawless etiquette. The mother worked tirelessly. Her hands blistered, her feet ached, but for her child, she endured it all. Yet not everyone wanted her to succeed. In the shadows, the aunt plotted with a servant. Switch the incense with impure sticks, spill wine on the ledgers, make her fail, no matter what. Soon mistakes began to appear. Guests complained of spoiled dishes, the accounts seemed falsified, and whispers spread. She's unfit. She'll never pass. The mother's heart sank. Was she truly failing, or was someone sabotaging her? That night, the CEO found her sitting alone in the courtyard, exhausted. She tried to smile, but tears spilled down her cheeks. I can't win against them. Maybe they're right. Maybe I don't belong here. He knelt beside her, lifting her chin gently. Listen to me. You are stronger than all of them. Don't let their poison break you. This family doesn't define you, but our love does. Her tears turned into determination once more. For my daughter, I'll keep fighting. The final day of the trial arrived. The grand hall was filled with family elders, all waiting for her to fail. The grandmother's voice rang out. Today you will host the ancestral ceremony. Show us if you truly deserve to stand in this house. The mother's hands trembled as she lit the incense, but suddenly smoke flared, acrid and dark. Gasps filled the hall. The aunt leapt to her feet. Impure incense! She dares insult our ancestors! The grandmother's eyes blazed with fury. Enough! Take the child away! But before anyone could move, the CEO stepped forward, slamming the report on the table. This sabotage ends today. I've already investigated. It was the aunt who switched the incense, not her. The hall erupted in chaos. The grandmother turned shocked. You betrayed this family. The aunt stammered, but guards dragged her out, her screams echoing. The little girl ran into her mother's arms, crying, "Mommy, don't leave me, please!" The mother held her tight, whispering, "I never will, sweetheart, never again." The grandmother, silent for a long moment, finally spoke softly. Perhaps love is the greatest tradition of all. Her stern eyes softened, if only for a second. You pass.